Have you ever had a dream, a goal, a desire of something that you really wanted to achieve? What did you do about that goal? Maybe you have one right now. What are you doing about it? Let me know in the comment section below. A number of years ago, I had this dream. I had this dream of starting a homestead, starting a farm, and working on it and living on it with my family. And last year, we met a couple who aspired to do the same thing. They were living in California at the time, but they had a dream of traveling the US to find a place where they could settle down to make roots and start their forever homestead, where they could live and work on it with their family. It was a really busy day on the farm yesterday. Selah had the opportunity to use a broadfork for the very first time. We recently got a forward farm tech broadfork, and it's the perfect height, perfect weight, perfect size for her to use. She was doing an excellent job using it. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out. A little bit later in the day, I was busy prepping 3 beds, pouring a whole bunch of compost into these beds, getting them ready to grow more stuff in. But after that, I really wanted to start preparing for the following day, because that day was going to be the big day of us going to go see our friends, the Hollards, who'd sold everything to travel around the US to find their forever homestead. And one of the things that I wanted to gift them with is a tarp. One of the 50-foot tarps to help them to start their garden beds, to go ahead and smother out the unwanted weeds, to get them ready to grow stuff in. So I must say, moving large tarps around is not the easiest task in the world. Once I folded it up, I put it on top of another tarp, a smaller tarp, so I could pull it and drag it around to where I needed to load it into our vehicle so that way we could take it. Since it had been a long day, once I pulled the tarp over there, I was like, man, I'm tired. I'm just going to load it in the morning, come back to it and finish loading the rest of the items that we needed to help them. And this morning, got up and like, man, it's beautiful outside. So finished loading the tarp into the Tahoe. And when we arrived, it was so nice to see them. It had been a number of months since we had seen them. And shortly after we arrived, Ben and Meg began showing us around the property. And it was neat to hear them talk about their vision and see their excitement coming through of different ideas and different visions that they had for each portion of the homestead. The property that they purchased had actually been a property that had been abandoned, abused, neglected for some time.
We talked about it when we were looking. He was like, I just want to find someone's broken dream.
There we go.
I think we found it.
Looking around this homestead, you could see that there's a lot of work that needs to be done to get it ready for them to have a really fully functioning homestead. But you know what? When I looked around this property, despite all the trash and different things that were on here, there's just a little bit of trash there.
That was just yesterday afternoon.
Wow. I saw that there was a diamond in the rough. They even have this one building that would make a great barn for some goats or a family cow. Does it work for goats too?
Yeah, it works for goats.
Yeah.
There's like 3 stalls. This side, like it's got the doors, so this can be set up for stalls.
And above it, it has a perfect place that would be a great area for a workshop for Ben.
Big old table saw right here in the middle. I don't know. I think as long as I isolate it, I can put my lathe up in one corner and I can beef it up. But there's a lot of fireproofing I have to do.
And over here, there's also this building slash shed that Ben, he already sees it. He sees it as a chicken coop. Yes, it needs some work done to it too, but it can happen. He sees it already. I believe he's going to make it happen. It needs some nesting boxes and a number of other things, and you know what? I have some extra nesting boxes, so maybe we can help him set up that one day. That would be great. And also, as you walk across the landscape, he already has portions of his property, since it's on a slope like ours, but they're already terraced, so he can make garden beds.
And right here in the middle, this is going to be the central location for like garden.
Okay.
The garden's going to span, right now it's going to be this whole terrace, maybe 300 feet by this terrace and this terrace. So it's, all this space is going to be our like living space outside. Where our fire pit is now, we're going to build a great big, maybe like a 12 by 12 pergola.
Okay.
And I'll knock down part of this berm right here, and have steps down from there. Have a central patio area, and then steps down to that. And this will all be outdoor living space.
That'll be great.
And then garden everywhere else.
That'd be great. I think he could have at least half an acre growing right there in front of where his house is going to be. Oh, and speaking of his house, there's two houses, or two potential houses on the property. An old trailer, and that's the one that they plan to live in to start with. At least that's the plan for now. And that's the one that overlooks the garden that I was just explaining. And then further on down the hill, there's another house. Yes, it has a lot of work done too, and there's so much trash and just old belongings that people left behind that need to come out. But it has potential there too, and they already envision it as being maybe an Airbnb, a place where some people could come, stay at the property, and maybe even watch them as they're working in their future garden or moving their future chicken tractors around. I can see it. Like I said, Ben sees it too.
If you're moving a chicken tractor, we could start over on that end and run. How many tractors do you think we could run?
Oh gosh. On one swale?
Yeah.
2 at least.
So at least
3.
2, maybe 3, and we could probably get all the way down in a season and do 2, maybe 3 batches.
Okay.
You move
On
them,
one swale.
yeah, you move them every day, and you only advance a coop length. So I imagine we could raise a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Just on this. I think we have enough. We could probably get a cow.
Okay.
But that's like down the road. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
So seeing their energy and being the person that I am, I was like, let's get to work. Let the demolition begin. So we got started right away. Had Lacie and the kids there with me. And the kids, they were ready to work too. Micah had his hammer and they were ready to go to town. They were ready to work. They're farm kids, they're used to work, right? You ready to hammer something? What you gonna hammer?
We didn't know what to bring. We brought everything.
Alright. So the first thing that we did is Ben and I began tearing out the carpets, and Lacie was right there helping us out. And then shortly after, as we were doing that, Casey, another YouTuber and homesteader, came, and he has a channel as well. One, two, three. Next, Justin and Rebecca Rhodes arrived from the Justin Rhodes YouTube channel. And let me tell you about Rebecca. She was really going to town with tearing and ripping stuff up. You could tell there was something in her that really enjoyed just tearing stuff up and demoing and knocking the walls down. It was pretty neat to see.
Oh, I missed it. That's it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. I wanted the video. So much fun. I hope they did.
We also had Amanda from the Fundamental Home there, as well as Art and Bree, and Jason and Lorraine from Sow the Land. And I must say, there's times that I really enjoy just kind of breaking something and tearing something up too. So it was neat to be ripping the walls down.
I hope they wanted that stud gone.
And I really wanted to do the Kool-Aid Man straight through a wall, but there wasn't really an opportunity to do that. And there was this one wall that I was going to do it. I was going to bust through that wall like the Kool-Aid Man, for those of you who remember the Kool-Aid Man commercials. And but Rebecca was tearing the wall down, and I was like, she's having a good time, I'm gonna leave her alone, and no Kool-Aid Man today, regretfully. And as we were pulling out the old wood and drywall and throwing them outside, thankfully there was a skid steer there that would just scoop it up and take it right down to the dumpster. And let me tell you, it was a huge blessing having that skid steer there, because if we had to take all that down there by hand to where the dumpster was, ooh man, we would not have made the progress that we've made. And man, it was so neat to see the progress that we were making from where we started to where we were, ripping all the walls out and seeing just the frames. It's pretty exciting to see how much we were able to achieve together. I think that's the key word there, together. In just a matter of just a couple hours. It was pretty exciting. And then we got to the point where we had ripped out pretty much all the internal walls and worked up a good amount of sweat, and it was lunchtime, and everybody was doing all the work, going to town, ripping those walls down. Everybody burned some serious calories, so everybody got some exercise in today. And besides, it was 90+ degrees outside, and the humidity was up there too, so everybody was pretty eager to get some substance in them to replenish those calories that we had all burned. And as we were eating lunch together, there was a nice spread there. It was just neat hanging out with the YouTubers. It was neat to be able to work alongside these people and then just hang out and chat with them, because with homesteading, a lot of times you're doing a lot of these projects by yourself. So it was neat to do it as a community. It was really so neat to be able to hang out with these, the fellow, it's like a tribe coming together. It was really neat.
Is that good watermelon, Josiah? Ready for a nap? Yeah. Still not ready for a nap? Never ready for a nap.
So after we had lunch and got done hanging out and just talking with people, we next cleaned up and everyone began packing up, ready to go, because it was into the afternoon and it was time to call it a wrap. We'd put a number of hours into it, and you could tell most people were tired. But I had really been wanting to ask Ben and Meg a question. Okay, so we're here with Meg and Ben, and we have gotten, I think, a lot accomplished today.
Oh my word.
More than we thought.
So much.
I hope that you all are satisfied with the progress that we made.
We're ecstatic.
So I don't even have words. This is amazing.
So it's been neat to know that when you guys started your adventure of looking all across the U.S., of thinking about where your forever homestead was going to be, to actually, now that you're here, that you're actually beginning the process of shaping this place that you envisioned and that you were on the search for. It's pretty neat. And for those of you who haven't seen their adventures, make sure you check out their channel, Holler Homestead, and you can go back and watch some of their videos as they were going through the process of looking around all the U.S. of trying to find this place here. So I know it looks like a diamond in the rough. I see it as a diamond in the rough. I hope you guys do.
Yes, we do.
So I do want to ask, what made you select this place out of all the places in the U.S.? What made you select this specific location here in North Carolina and this specific property?
Oh gosh, a lot of reasons.
A lot of reasons. It fit everything we had ever had in mind. Our list. It checked off every single box on the list. It, you know, it's hilly. It's, you know, it's not too far from the mountains. sure, it might be a little bit smaller than we had initially wanted, but being out here, this is more land than we know what to do with right now.
It is.
It's got the old farmhouse on it. It's got water on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many things. The more we walked around, it was like, well, yeah, it's trashed. Trash can be cleaned up.
Yeah.
So
Something that's funny too is we had talked about getting a property that was hilly so you could put terraces, because
Yeah.
he's wanted to do terraces like his whole life, and we have terraces already, like they're here, and we already get to work with them. So just
everything was right.
yeah.
We go. That's fantastic. It was neat when I first came here this morning and I saw you at Terrace. I was like, oh, it reminds me of our farm. So that's pretty neat that you guys have it too.
Yeah, it's great.
So I look forward to seeing how it shapes up and how it forms. So make sure you follow along with them on their channel to see how they bring this place together to be the place that they envision in their minds and in their hearts. So there we go. Thank you guys. Good job.
Thank you so much.
enough.
Oh, thank you.
Just a little sweat.
Just a little sweat.
Yep.
Looks a lot different, doesn't it?
I can't wait to go back and help the Hollars again. That was really, really fun. And besides, I really enjoy helping people, especially when they're doing the homesteading thing. It's pretty exciting to see. So I hope that this video, whether you're homesteading or not, I hope that you, whatever those dreams, whatever those desires and goals that you have of yours, that you do something about it, that you go forward and make it happen. And let me tell you, as you begin to pursue that dream, that goal, that desire that you have in you, there's going to be people that come along the way that they may think you're crazy. As Ben and Meg have been experiencing, they've moved all the way out here. They travel around the U.S. and then they moved to this place in North Carolina, which is miles away from where they were living in California. And now they live in this property, to most people looks just like probably a junk land, but they're living here and they're restoring this piece of property, restoring the land, and they're going to improve on it and build on it. Right now they're living in a camper on the property while they're working to build and set up this trailer that we were working on today. But you know what? They're making it happen. What about you? Are you making your dreams, your goals, desires, are you making them happen? And if you're in them, if you're working on them and you're getting discouraged, don't quit. Stick to it. Because there's going to be a lot of sweat, some blood, and some tears along the way. But it will be worth it in the end when you achieve what you want to achieve. And speaking of working on achieving your goals, if you are a homesteader and you want to learn to be a better homesteader, or if you're not a homesteader currently and you want to learn how to be one, come join us at the Homesteading Life Conference in Hannibal, Missouri. There's only 100 tickets left, so make sure you get them. And come join us there. We'll see you there with Doug and Stacy, as well as a number of others. So make sure you get your tickets today. That's it for today. We'll see you next time, and roll on.
So would you stay?